Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Esther Doyle allowed us, as her students, as her actors, her technicians, to fulfill ourselves in a way that we had never been doing before. And she would let us on stage be something else entirely than what we originally were and knew. Get away from whatever it was that we were doing, math, science, and for an hour or two be the creative us. After graduation from Juniata, and because we had this little cadre, this little group of friends that had been in theater with Esther Doyle and at Juniata College, one of our group had a barn, and it's there it is, there's a barn, we can do a show. And we did. And we had to shovel out 14 wagon loads of manure before we could put a floor down in the theater. Over my head, I see trouble. I got a master's degree in speech therapy from the University of Alabama, and it happened to be in the early 60s. But across town was a little black college, Stillman College, Presbyterian, 400 students, and somebody had asked me to come and direct a play there. Well, I did, and I stayed 4 years. I took my black students, integrated the theater at the University of Alabama because they were doing Waiting for Godot, and even the president and the dean being an Episcopalian in my own church, begging me not to bring it. Well, the time wasn't right. I said, yeah, but they're not going to do Waiting for Godot another time, so I want my students to see it. And we did. They moved us so we'd be near an exit. The FBI was there, and, you know, all that kind of thing. In the early 60s, while teaching at Stillman College, had nothing to do in the summers. There was no summer school there. So I formed a little theater company to tour, the Kaleidoscope Players, I called it. And we were booked by the women's clubs in Raton, New Mexico, to help raise money to buy the grand piano for the Schuler Theater. And then as a result, some of the businessmen in town at a reception at the museum afterwards said, what would it take to get you to come here and do more shows? And I said, money. And they said, we can do that. Sounds like something right out of a play, doesn't it? We can do that. And they did. One of the interesting things that has happened in my dotage here in Raton and in this lovely old theater, I was awarded the Governor's Award for the Arts. And I say that the award was not just to me, I might have been a driving force, but it was to the town. I mean, how many towns the size of Raton, New Mexico, have a beautiful theater to begin with, but support the theater? Our movie theater isn't even operating 2 doors away, but the stage theater thrives. We have 60 to 70 nights a year in which there's something in this theater, in this small town. People come from all over to see the theater and to see our shows.
Thanks for having me here.
Break a leg.
I will.
In our marvelous Schuler Theater.
Maybe 2.
Yes.
Well, when Bill left for a period of time, you know, we could really feel the impact of his absence. There was not a lot going on, certainly not a lot of any professional kind of acts and activities under his kind of guidance. So, you know, we truly missed that. And then when he came back, we we've seen that happen again where we are getting more activity in here. I think that our future will depend on Bill.
Bill gets up in the morning and he thinks about art, he thinks about kids, he thinks about theater. And when he goes to bed, he's still doing that. And never be reversed in bed. Do it. I remember one time listening to him tell a story about how he would earn his theater tickets by scraping gum off the bottom of the seats in a theater. And these kids haven't had to scrape any gum off the bottom of the seats of the theater yet. They just show up and he works his magic.
Bill has helped me a whole lot, and especially with my confidence part. Whenever I first came to Raton, I did not have a place to fit in, and whenever I got into a play, Bill helped me fit in.
People ask me sometimes, what is my legacy? And I don't know, but I like to think of it in terms of helping to make a difference in people's lives. It's made a difference in mine. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.